Hey everybody, it's Chris with Life 180, and today I want to do something that's a little different, a little out of the wheelhouse from what I normally do, and I want to talk about annuities, and more importantly, leveraging annuities to guarantee income for life. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up and that I'm talking about this is because I know I do a lot normally about talking about life insurance, but you know, with everything that's going on in the world, with all the conversations that I'm having with people, everything going on with Joe Biden, the tax increases, printing all this money, the interest rates staying low, the devaluation of the US dollar, the unfunded liabilities of over 140 trillion, I think, in this country at this point in time, our national debt at 28 trillion. The fact of the matter is our country is in pretty rough shape. And I'm a big believer that, you know, we've been riding this boom up. You know, if you've watched any of my recent videos, you know that I'm a big believer that the reason the economy has done so well is because in 1980, interest rates were really high. We spent the greater part of 3 decades with reducing interest rates. We had a reduction in interest rates, and we lived in a reducing, declining interest rate environment. And so the nature of how assets and investments work in a declining interest rate environment is completely the opposite of what you need to do to be successful to get your assets to work for you in an increasing interest rate environment. It's a completely different dynamic. Markets perform differently in an increasing rate environment or even a flat interest rate environment. And so those are things to consider. Now, I think because of that, the leveraging of annuities as a product to guarantee and buy income, so to speak, and make sure that you are guaranteeing your income and eliminating longevity risk, sequence of return risk in your portfolio, whatever you want to call that. Some people call it order of returns risk. Some people call it sequence of returns. But the bottom line is it's all about eliminating the risk in your portfolio about if you retire, when is the market going to drop? How long is the market going to suffer for? You know, if you retired this year and the market did well for 10 years, then chances are if you had the right amount of money saved, then you'd be okay. However, if next year or maybe 3 years in, the stock market struggled, what happens? You are in trouble. Now, the challenge that exists right now is that I think there are a lot of people that are really uncertain. One of the scariest positions to be in is somebody who's, say, 54, 55 years old, and you're looking to save money up for retirement. And one of the worst things that can happen is when you're 64, 65, maybe anywhere between 60 and 65, something bad happens in the economy, and the market crashes and you have a big correction in your portfolio, and all the money that you've worked for is gone before you know it. Not all of it, but a good chunk of it. And so what I wanted to do is just kind of go through an option here, and I had an agent put this together for me, and I wanted to show it for you because it's super powerful. Because what this does is it shows, I have 3 annuities that I use that show a 54-year-old that can accumulate money inside of an annuity, utilizing the tools inside of the annuity to guarantee rolled up. This is a great rolled up interest rates inside of the annuity. When you use it for income, it's an extremely powerful vehicle. Now, before I get into this, I will say that there are some negative things to an annuity. You lose liquidity of that money, i.e. if you put your money into an annuity, you need to make sure that your sole purpose for this is to leverage it for income only. I know there are going to be people that disagree with me on that, but I think selling it in any other way actually puts some limitations, or puts some risk additionally on the table for the investor, for the person who's saving, and to me, that's not what this product is all about. As soon as somebody hits 54, 55 years old, this can be a great alternative for you to keeping your money in a 401k, keeping your money in an IRA. Typically, people have qualified money. Any money that you have, I'm going to use $1 million just as a frame of reference. But anybody who thinks about retirement planning, we've all heard the rule of 4, so the 4% rule, I should say. And what that is basically saying is that it's basically Monte Carlo simulations that basically say if you have $1 million, you can expect to conservatively be able to withdraw 4% from your portfolio and have that money last for the rest of your life. So if you have $1 million, that tells you that you could be able to withdraw 4%, so it's $40,000 for the rest of your life. And even though we may have down years, that 4% is supposed to build in the buffer that even in a down cycle, you can keep taking money out and it's not gonna make your account value implode, right? So that's a big thing to understand, because it's not a matter of how much money you have, it's about how much income you have on a consistent guaranteed basis for the rest of your life. And so that's something to think about, because yes, people have Social Security now. Maybe you have a pension, probably not. Some people do. But this is basically buying your own pension when you utilize an annuity properly. So what I want to do is I actually want to go through an example and kind of show the power of this. I'm gonna pull this up a little bit, and I'm gonna go through this. And I had this little illustration put together so you could see we got a valued client, age 54, starting for 11 years. At age 65, they can start taking income if they want. We're just saying state of Texas. It doesn't really matter what state it is for the most part, as long as the product's available in that given state. That's all that matters the most. But I ran 3 companies here. I didn't run it. I had a guy run 3 companies for me. It's an agent that I know. He ran American General Life Insurance Company, American National Insurance Company, and Oxford Life Insurance Company. And these are the different annuity products that they use. Now, once again, I want to tell you, I did this. I know there are a lot of different annuities that have a lot of different riders and a lot of different kind of widgets in them that they can leverage to give additional benefits. And not all annuities are designed to do all things. So that's another conversation. I'm actually going to be doing a lot more videos on this because I think it's really important. Like I said, with the environment that we're in right now, I think it's super important. I think you're going to understand if you are somebody who is concerned about the market, concerned about your portfolio losing value or having market risk when you're close to retirement, these products can be a great vehicle for you. So check it out. So you can see here, I'm going to use this at age 54. You can see this could be an immediate annuity. They'll guarantee at 54, mind you, that 4% rule is from 65 years old. They say that 4% is the rule to get you there. But this will pay it at 3.65% immediately at 54 years old, and that would be a $36,500 a year income. It's not what I would suggest. It can be done. However, one of the things that I think is really important is that in this policy, they will guarantee a roll-up rate, meaning your policy will be guaranteed to increase by 5.5% on a compounding basis over the next decade. You can see it, 55 through 64 right here. Let's see if I can highlight it. Yep, 55 through 64. And so you can see here, all the while, if you decide to take a lifetime payout, you can look at the rates here in the payout rate column and so on and so forth. Now, if you wait till you're 65, you get to lock in the 5.5% roll-up guarantee, and you can see that 1 million over the next decade will grow on a guaranteed basis. Guaranteed basis, if you use this for income, it'll be 1.6 million bucks, just a little over 1.6 million. And it will illustrate out, they will guarantee income at 6.25% for the rest of your life. That means you're gonna get $100,000 a year for the rest of your life on that 1.6 million. So that is a significant difference. If you were to, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm gonna actually get my phone here. But the 4% rule, like let's just look at the 4% rule, and I'm gonna run the numbers here really quickly. I'm just gonna do it rough. 1,600,000 times 0.04, that's $64,000, right? So you're talking about an extra $36,000 in income, guaranteeing this on this policy. So where on this, I say policy, I'm so used to talking about life insurance, on this annuity. And so there's a lot of benefits that go with this. I'm just talking about income. There's also guaranteed death benefit that comes with this. So I'm not gonna get into that too much, but there are guaranteed benefits that come into the equation here as well. Now you can see the longer you let this go, if you don't need the income at 65, it will keep compounding at 5.5%. The next year, you're guaranteed to take it out at 6.5%, but the account value grew to almost 1.7 million. You get to still take it out at 6.25%, and it goes up to over 105,000, almost 106,000 in income. 67 if you waited. Now you're getting $111,000 guaranteed for income for life. It's an amazing vehicle. Now you can see I did these other ones as well. They're pretty close to the same. This one functions a little different. It's got a guaranteed roll-up of 7.2% for 10 years. Their guaranteed payout for life starting at 65 is much different. It's 5%, so it's lower. But the difference is the guaranteed roll-up goes to $2 million versus paying out at 5%. So this has got a higher payout guarantee, less money in the account. But at the end of the day, what you need to look at for these annuities isn't how much money is in the account, it's what you're basically trying to buy your income. So if you're 54, you need to imagine what do you need for income for the rest of your life and to guarantee your standard of living. And it's Tom Hegner wrote a book called Paychecks and Playchecks about a decade ago. It was phenomenal, right? And so in that book, he talks about the concept of when we retire, it doesn't matter how much money we have. All that matters is that you have your standard of living guaranteed. So you want to make sure you pay for your paycheck. You buy your paycheck, because we all, when we're accumulating money, when we're working, we all have a paycheck. So we want to make sure that that paycheck pays for our bills, pays for our standard of living, pays for our lifestyle, pays for our vacations, and all the different things that we want to do. And the reality is, if you save properly, if you plan properly, you can use an annuity to basically create a private pension, a personal pension that will replace your paycheck. And an annuity is the best and the only way to really optimize what you're doing from a retirement perspective. And so it's pretty phenomenal when you look at this. Now you can see this one on the far right. It shows a 7.15% roll up. That's basically what they're guaranteeing for accumulation every single year on the $1 million, as long as between the age of 55 and 64, by the way. And that's for all these companies. They all do this. This markets it at 7.15, so it looks sexier because you're getting to over the 2 million mark in both of the middle column and the right column here, right? But the bottom line is they both pay out much less on guaranteed income, so their income actually comes up shorter than the one on the left column for American General. And so you have to really look. Sometimes these companies use these roll-up rates to make it look really good, but you really have to take all the equation into consideration, because it's really the income that matters most and how you leverage it. And by far, the American General Life Insurance Company annuity here, especially if you're willing to delay a lot or a little, let's say you delay to 70, that'll kick out $131,000 guaranteed for the rest of your life. And so if you worked a little longer, if you had, this may not come into play, but some people are going to be a little tight. So maybe instead of retiring at 65, you have to invest your $400,000 or $500,000 and let it grow maybe another 3, 4, 5 years, and then start pulling out later. The good news is, if you could see this at 62, at 70, it's 6.25%. But guess what? If you can wait till 72, here it goes up to 7.25%. So not only is your account kept compounding at 5.5% on a guaranteed basis in this, you're now being able to guarantee your withdrawal rate at 7.25%. That gets you almost $170,000 of income. There's a huge step up here, right? So you could see at 64 to 65, there's a huge step up in cash flow. And then 72 to 73, or 71 to 72, there's a huge step up in cash flow if you're willing to wait during those key periods of time in the annuity. So I don't want to get into great detail about this, but I thought it was really important to kind of show, give a little clarity, give people who have never really looked at annuities as a solution to a problem, because I know a lot of people look to the market, but let's face it, I think there are a lot of people out there that are concerned about what the market's going to do. And so if you could put your money into an account, I'm going to stop sharing this here. If you could put your money into an account that guaranteed your income, that guaranteed growth, that was at a reasonable rate for you, and would be able to guarantee income that was multiple, let's say 50% higher almost, than the conservative money managers out there are going to be able to provide for you, and you can do this all on a guaranteed basis, I think anybody would be foolish to not figure out their budget and figure out, okay, how much money do I need to actually live? Because I'm a big believer, you need to make sure that the money that you need to live, to survive, to make sure your standard of living is locked into place for the rest of your life, is taken care of. I think you need to take that into consideration and lock that in. And any money that you have above and beyond that, you can invest, you can save, you can take risks, you can, put in the market, buy crypto, have into businesses, buy real estate, do all these other things. But once you hit that distribution phase of your life and you need to retire, having that cash flow on a guaranteed basis, that personal pension, is the most important thing you can do for your quality of life. And so that's all I wanted to show for this video. So I hope it helps. And if you have any questions about any of this, give me a buzz. I have lots of contacts with amazing annuity people. I'm gonna try to bring some of them on to do some videos with me to talk about this stuff, because I think this is one of the most misunderstood products. It's one of the most missold products, I think, along with IUL. Annuities are often missold because they do pay good commissions a lot of times, and sometimes not so much. It just depends on the product. but you need to understand what you're getting involved with and why you're buying it. A lot of people sell them for accumulation. Like I could show you how this would look really good. Actually, I'm gonna show it one more time. I could show you how this would look really good. Like this grows from 5.5% all the way up to, you know, say 1.6 million. It grows from $1 million to 1.6 million in that 11-year period. And that looks really good, right? Like that looks phenomenal. And so people sell this as if that's gonna be what's gonna happen. So the biggest misnomer in these products is that you don't have that 1.6 million. That's just the calculation. They're building this 6.25% distribution to figure out how much money they're gonna give you on a guaranteed basis for the rest of your life. At 65 in this scenario, could you access your money? Yes, you could, but it's not gonna be based on this 5.5% guaranteed roll-up. It's gonna be based on the performance of the index, which I didn't show the full illustration for this. There's a completely different full illustration that breaks down how indexing works and all these different things inside of the markets, and how the crediting strategy for the investment side of this will work. But that 1.6 million will really be closer to probably 1.2 to 1.3 million. So that's something to understand. A lot of people are selling these, making it seem like, wow, you're gonna get to 1.6 million and you can take that income out. And a lot of people think like, oh, if I don't wanna take the income there, I could just have access to the 1.6 million and do something else with it. It's not the case. So you need to understand all the moving parts in these things. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Make a comment below if you have any questions about anything. I'd love to engage. If you haven't already, please like the video, share it out with people that you think would benefit from this. If you haven't already as well, please hit that subscribe button. Click the bell, that way you get notified every single time I launch a new video when it comes to the financial services business, when it comes to life insurance, whole life insurance, index universal life. We're getting into annuities because I think it's such an important conversation to guarantee people's income in the volatility that I think we're going to be seeing coming up into the future here. I think locking your money into these products, buying that security, buying that peace of mind, buying that income is going to be one of the best things that people can do. So super valuable. I hope this helps. I hope it gives clarity. If it does drop any questions, feel free to reach out. You can see a link down below. Feel free to set up a time with me. Happy to engage with anybody that has any questions. So have a blessed, inspirational day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.